Going live. You're live. Welcome everyone to our first YouTube live video. I am here with two of our other co-agents with Kevin Sean's real estate team. We have
Raymond
and Karina, our broker. So introduce yourselves. Most of my viewers here already know who I am.
Oh, I'll go first. All right. So my name is Raymond. Raymond Pliego. I'm 24 years old. Real estate agent here in the high desert. Been doing this for 3-4 months now, so fairly new to the experience. But I'm blessed to be around some really great people that have some really awesome knowledge, and just really excited to continue the journey. But hopefully bring you guys some interesting news for what's going on in our town today.
And on top of that, our walls are pretty thin. So I sit right behind Raymond's desk. Every time I'm in the office, he's always making calls. It kind of like pushes me to do more because I feel like I'm now slacking with the new guy coming in. It's like, oh shoot, this guy's about to top me. I got to start making some calls and texts.
It's good. It's a good friendly competition. I notice. I look at the leaderboard a lot, and these two are the ones.
We're in it. We're in the competition.
Yeah, you're right. We go so hard, and then one day you wake up and the numbers are completely flipped. Marvin's at the top, she's second, I'm third. The next day it'll go, another switch. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a really fun, friendly competition. Sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's all for the company. It's all for the clients. I love it. It's good. It's good pressure, to be honest.
100%.
I'm Karina Mitchell. I will not tell you how old I am. I have been in the business since 2012. I am the broker. Lots of experience. I do love, though, everybody always has something, whether you're the newest or the oldest agent on the team, to give to everybody. Our sharing is what makes our company stand out. I really do believe that.
100%.
Yeah. Karina's like the backbone of our brokerage.
Yeah, I would say that. She's just like so straightforward with everything, but it comes from like a place of love. So you really can't take it in the wrong direction. It's really hard to take it in the wrong direction. I always say that if you have people that are, looking out for you, they're going to be brutally honest with you. And if they really don't care, they're probably not telling you anything at all, or just kind of letting you slide by with the regular.
Sometimes I overcomplicate things and I'll go off tangent and kind of vent to Karina, and then she'll just say one short sentence to just sum it all up. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good perspective.
100%.
Why don't you just do this? Like, I didn't think about that.
That's what comes with the undisclosed age.
So, all right. So what's going on in the high desert? So the high desert, that's including Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, 29 Palms. Our community is growing quite a bit. For me, what I'm seeing in Yucca Valley is the new aquatic center. I think that's a pretty cool addition to the town of Yucca Valley. I've actually had the project manager run into me on one of my listings, and he's planning to give me a little private tour of the aquatic centers. What are you guys seeing around town?
Leonardo da Vinci is near and dear to my heart, as you all know, because I am the alien expert, and he was also an alien expert. At the museum, by the town park, the little high desert museum, they are doing a Leonardo da Vinci
that's cool.
exhibit until I think it's September 6th. They usually have like pictures, a little bit of interactive stuff. It's a great little place, especially for younger kids. Older kids are going to get a lot out of the exhibit, but the younger kids, there's a playroom there. They also have a bunch of animals, birds, reptiles, spiders, stuff, so you can get used to what they have in the desert. Funny enough, one of the birds, it's a cockatiel, landed on my head when I was at the park when the kids were little. And I walked over there with it still on my head, and it's still in the museum. At least it was last time I was there. Yeah, they already had one, so they just put it in there with the other one. And so there's,
that's
just randomly landed on my head.
Maybe that's like a sign of good luck or something.
Obviously not.
You wouldn't have chosen one.
What about you, Raymond?
For us, aquatic center is pretty cool, but something that just always kind of sticks out is the farmers markets that are going on in 29 Palms and Joshua Tree. Saturday mornings. I've been hearing more and more people going to those, more and more people having a good time. more vendors popping up. It's just something to kind of get out and do with your day before it starts to get really hot. Other than that, Morongo Preserve has a kind of like a science camp kind of thing that they host during the day. Got a lot of interactive stuff for the kids, some art, hiking, little trails that they take the kids on and stuff like that. So if you got little ones here in the high desert, you're looking for, something to maybe try to spark up their summer, that's probably a really good idea, get involved with some of that.
That's cool.
The preserve has a great bunch of hiking trails for older kids. And then if you go to Covington Park afterwards, have a picnic.
Beautiful.
We did that a lot when my kids were little.
I had a client that I had to get everything signed in paper, and he actually does the landscaping for Morongo Park. So every time I had to go get paperwork signed, I ended up at Covington Park.
It's just beautiful.
Dude, it's so different from any park, not Yucca Park, Marquez Park. Any park is just, they're beautiful, but the one in Morongo, all the trees, it feels like so cool down there. It's like you really can't enjoy a better park, I have to say.
I think it's also a really good spot for photo ops. I know a lot of photographers go out there and do some photos out there too. On top of the 29 Palms Farmers Market, I can't remember the lady's name, but she does the dips, the Mediterranean food. Have you guys seen her?
She's like a truck? She's like a food truck kind of thing?
Not a food truck, but she has a booth set up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, nice.
And she has, I would say over 50 different types of dips. And every time I go there, it's like she feeds you a full plate before you can actually buy something from her. It's like, I just want that. It's like, no, try this. And she just shove that thing. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, okay.
That's flavorful.
I don't know which one to pick now because they're all good.
You know what? I think that's maybe a good marketing strategy because maybe,
keep people coming back. Talking about it.
It's something abstract that you don't see a lot of people do. And that type of food, it's like not too many people know what it is. So if you don't try it, you'll never know what it is. So maybe she's like, let me show you how interesting this could actually be to you.
It was a good buying experience, especially for my sister, because it was her first time for 29 Palms.
Yeah.
She's a local in 29, but she hasn't came back for a long time. And after she experienced all that different types of dip, she ended up buying quite a few.
Couple packages to take home.
It's like, ooh, she got
took a stockpile. That's how they do it, man.
Good. And I think Yucca Valley's doing concerts in the park on Saturday nights. Cool. Always been a great time. I've been many times, sit in the grass, watch a free concert, and often they do raffles.
Something to do, man. Something different, something to beat the heat. It's hard because, up here, we get so hot during the day that it's hard to find something to actually go enjoy. So a lot of it either comes in the afternoons or early mornings. And that just happens to be the nature of it. So excited to see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we covered what's going on in the desert area. Let's now talk about home buying and what are some of, your top 3 or just one that home buyers tend to do that kind of shoots them in the foot.
I'm gonna, I don't have too much input. I've just barely started dealing with houses just recently, and getting the opportunity. So I've come across a couple little things, but I think this topic falls more into you guys, just being the more experienced. So this is going to be a learning trip for me too. So I'll give it to Karina for this one.
I think when buyers go directly to the seller's agent, they think they're saving money, but at the end of the day, one person cannot fully represent both sides. So, splitting it evenly is not the way that it should go. I just was in a deal and it was an as-is deal and
I get you.
We battled and I ended up getting the buyer a $10,000 credit. Now, if that one agent was the only person involved, what is that other person getting? Are they getting $5,000? Are they getting no grand? Are they getting $2,000? It really takes, when you save, and I'm going to say save because sellers up here are still paying buyer broker compensation. When you save your money, you're giving it away anyway. At the end of the day, I have been in very few deals that were so smooth that nobody needed to negotiate, and one person cannot negotiate with themselves. So if they represent the buyer and the seller, they're like finding the middleman, doing what's fair. And I'm going to say what's fair because they're representing both sides. Hard. Where when I'm representing one people, I'm a little feral. I'm going to make sure that they get what's due to them.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah, it's. I've been in situations where I represented both sides, and it is the toughest transaction to do. Just because I personally I have a relationship with my seller, and taking on a buyer and giving some, trying to split the neutrality for both is really tough because there are certain situations during escrow where I want to say something, but at the same time, I'm going to be crossing borders ethically, at least, and that's something I really don't want to be in. It's not worth any dollar amount. I don't care what the commission is. I'd rather stick with my client than represent both sides.
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't double end very much. Very, very seldom. It has to be a situation where I have one coming up where they're friends and I'm going to be selling the house that one of them owns to the other one. But they know each other. They're really doing the negotiation, not me.
Yeah.
I'm just really doing paperwork and getting it done for them.
That makes sense.
Because to me, I again, never split the difference,
I get that.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in one right now where I'm, representing the buyer and the seller, and overall, a smooth transaction, but it is a land deal, so there's just way less to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just such less in depth than what a house is, and so I feel like that's why it's maybe going a little smoother. But even in those times, I've been representing the seller for not just this parcel, but a couple other parcels. I know where her mindset's at. So when I hear stuff from the buyer, I'm like, that is not going to go. And it's hard to just come and present it. And, you still have a duty because you still got to bring it up either way.
Yeah.
But it puts you in a little bit of a almost like a weird spot because they probably already iterated to you that it's not an idea they'd even consider. But you as the other agent, you still got to bring it back. And so it almost puts you in a spot like, hey, you listen to me or not, So it's just one of those things, where you just got to really know how to navigate it the right way. And whatever works out for whoever is just the way it's got to go, So that one's interesting. I think for buyers, I think the one thing that I will say since I started dealing with houses is people will go look at, they'll jam pack a day of seeing houses, and then they'll want to go in a couple of days and jam pack a day of seeing houses. And they don't know how to start differentiating between what they like or not. And now we've looked at 30 houses and you have nothing that you even liked, or you can't even distinguish through them because you looked at so many at a time. So something I've been noticing is when I go to do those showings, I try to limit between, like 5 to 6 houses of maximum, because I feel like once you start going past that, it starts to become kind of blurry. You start to forget details of what you see on the day.
And you can only be organized so much. You can take notes, take photos. But at the end of the day, after seeing 30 different homes in 3 days, 4 days, it starts to, so you really want to narrow down your search.
Like, how do you feel about this? Like, let's just get this off the list if you already know this isn't your scenario.
Yeah, just walk in. If it's not feeling right, get on out. Don't be.
Don't entertain.
Don't linger. Don't linger anymore, messing up your true path to your forever home.
Something that's been helping me with that is I use Karina's thing a lot, which is like, if you don't love the house, you're not going to buy it. And I use that straight out loud with a lot of people, because they'll be in there and they look like kind of iffy. I'm like, hey, so you don't look completely sold on this. Like, what do you like? What don't you like? And then the list of not liking is longer. So I'm like, hey, if you don't love the house, you're probably not going to get it. Let's go to the next one, And it works out most of the time. So good tips and tricks picking up already,
All right. So the next topic here, what is the weirdest showing experience you've ever had?
I got a little freaked out one time. So I picked up a Zillow lead and they were like, hey, I need an appointment in an hour and a half. I happen to have a clear day, but it was like super far in 29, a house out there. And I get out there and this guy's in like a van and the car's left running and the lock box or the super, I forget, is behind the house, like in a super weird spot. And he's just like kind of following me. I'm like, hey, wait for me right here. I'll go grab the key and I'll be right back. And he keeps coming with me, And I'm like bent down in this corner grabbing this key. And I'm like trying to get a little side eye just to make sure nothing was going on. But, just an urgent appointment all the way out in deep 29. Oh. No neighbors, no nothing. It was like one of those secluded houses. Your car's on. Like you're standing behind me the whole time. I was just, all right, whatever. But it ended up turning out to a sell. So good news. It turned out to a sell. But yeah, I got a little freaked out on that one.
Yeah, sometimes with meeting people for the first time, you kind of have that weird vibe, especially for realtors. You just got to keep in mind.
It's just being cautious. You know, you can never just be too safe. I think that's the biggest thing.
You never know who you're going to run into.
I think that you could always point something out and have them be looking at that while you're getting the key.
Good idea.
Hey, why don't you check out this and I'll run and grab the key. And then, just 100%. A little distraction if you get nervous because you're running the show. Start by running the show.
Definitely.
One of mine was funny. I had a knock first. If nobody answers, the lockbox is way in the back by the pool. There's a dog there. Don't freak out. So I get there before my clients and I bang on the door. I'm like, hello, hello. Nobody answers. So I go in the back. Dog is raging. And you have to go right up and get almost to the gate to get the lockbox. I'm like, all right, sorry, little puppy, get the key. I knock again. If you've ever seen me show, I'm a knocker. I always want to make sure I'm not walking in on somebody. I will literally say hello to an empty house 50,000 times to make sure I don't walk in on somebody.
Me too, you never know.
Because it's so horrible. So I'm banging on the door, nobody answers. So I finally open it. And there's a guy just out on the couch. And I'm like, hello, hello, hello. He doesn't move. My clients walk up and I'm like, I think the guy is dead. I don't know what to do. I think the guy's dead. So I'm just getting ready to call the agent. Like, why am I not calling 911? But she's the boss of this house, not me. You know what I mean? 100%. Like, I think your person's dead here. I'm like, hey, I go over and touch him. And he gets up and says he was on set. He's like all groggy and freaky. He's like, this medication. It makes me feel like I died. I'm like, dude, you're dead.
You were dead.
Honestly, I mean, that's a lot. The dog is barking. I banged on that door so many times. I've been yelling into the house. I mean, he's only, 5 feet away. Yeah. And he didn't hear me.
He's got to have a chat with his doctor, man.
Scared the heck out of me. Nobody wants to find a dead person in a house.
No, nobody. That's a great way to lose a cell.
Yeah. They're like, nah, we don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, like, we're good.
Yeah.
I've had a couple weird showings. The first one was a house off of Old Woodland Springs. I have an appointment to see it, so there was a heads up. However, when I showed up, I knocked on the door. Like I always announce myself, even if it's a vacant home, you just never know. And I walked in on a guy taking a shower. So that was one of the top weird ones for me. I booked out of there. I apologized, and I just waited for him to finish up. So that was pretty weird.
Here's the thing. They know they have an appointment.
Yeah.
I feel at some point, I feel like it's intentional.
Yeah.
Almost.
If you're the seller and you're in the shower, well, I don't know.
I mean, it could be some miscommunication between, the seller and the listing agent. The second weirdest showing was another house in 29 Palms. The owners were there. Like me and my clients walked in, they told us, feel free to walk around the house, check out the bedrooms. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll just be watching TV in the living room. That's cool. We're walking around. And I asked if I could see the primary bedroom. And the guy told me, yeah, go ahead, just walk right in. And as soon as I opened the door, there's this lady, super confident, laying on the bed, just chilling. I was like, hey, take a look. I'm like, okay. So my client was like, are we allowed to be in here? It's like, let's just look real fast and then just be out of the way. But she was really confident, and I'm like, that's really uncomfortable for me. So
I typically ask, is there anybody in any of these rooms? Because it is scary when you walk in and there's someone in there. And it's uncomfortable for I want to hear it twice. I want to hear from the seller. Sure, go on in and there's somebody in there, but I want to hear from that person too. I'll be like, do you mind if we just take a quick look? But you are unselling your house if you are doing things like that while people are trying to view your home. It's the primary bedroom and you can't even see it because you're so worried about the person who's sitting in the bed. It is very uncomfortable. And I think for sellers, there's a huge mistake. Step outside, go in the garage. If it's super or whatever, you can't move, like hang in the living room and let people have access to the rest of the house. If you have things out that you're worried about them taking, shame on you. You put it away. You're trying to sell your house.
Not odd showings, but I think something that does a little bit bother me is when you go to show a house and the owner sticks around, because I feel like it creates a barrier for your clients to not want to be fully transparent about what they did and didn't like, because they're worried that they're going to hear that.
And they can't see because they're so worried about the person whose face they're invading.
Yes.
And so absolutely, it's very difficult. Have you noticed if somebody's in the house that you're showing is 5 minutes, but if no one's in the house, you're showing 20 or 30 minutes?
100%.
Yeah.
What does that say? That says seller, you're doing a bad job.
It builds an uncomfortability in you. It's like, I don't want to stick around for too long.
When there's a lot of stuff in the house, and I have to say in front of the seller, try to envision the space without any furniture, without these boxes, without these knickknacks, and don't look at the pictures because those are not what you're buying.
100%.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I feel like it really does prevent the potential buyer, to envision the home as theirs, with the seller kind of breathing down their neck. Even though they're trying not to, I understand that sometimes the seller has to stay home, either the remote working or they just have nowhere to go. But, you might want to just take a walk.
Yeah, I think, I've ran into ones where there was sellers and they were like, hey, yeah, go ahead, show. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and step in the garage or something while you guys look around. And that makes it that much more comfortable. But it's when they actually start feeling like they're part of the tour now too. They're walking with you. I'm like, okay, gotcha.
And I did this in 1979.
I'm like, awesome.
It's 2025.
45 years ago. Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it that we have on schedule. Where it's 11:07. We're running out of time here. So is there anything else you guys want to? Sorry, I just got a message.
You got a message loud?
On my glasses. You guys can hear it?
Yeah, I just heard it. You must have the volume turned up, man.
No, sometimes it goes up and down.
You play a lot of music through those things?
I do, yeah.
That's awesome.
So do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Well, there you go. We have the latest technology. Marvin is our tech guy, and he tries it all out and lets us know what we should be getting, because we always want to make sure that we're representing our people to the best of our ability.
Absolutely.
And so Marvin has the tech glasses. You got to help me, because I don't know.
It's weird. I mean, I like taking calls without having to hold my phone. You do have speakerphone, but for some reason, I feel like I'm more in tune with the call when it's behind my ear like this on both sides. So it feels weird, but I feel more in tune and engaged with the conversation.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I make a lot of phone calls in the day, like you mentioned at the beginning. And lately I've been like, man, I'm almost thinking about buying one of those little headsets with a little mic or something. But I might even just go invest in one of those, because it's almost the same thing if you were to go invest in just a pair of AirPods, but now you got the glasses that record and you're still, handsless or hands-free.
Hands-free. But it's great. I like it. There are some caveats to it, short battery life, but I'm not using it 100% of the time. Plus, I have prescription, so.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, cool.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for now. Well, we'll try to make more in the future.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Let's see, end this thing. Boom.